Welcome to Chasing Fame and Facing Death, a show where we uncover compelling stories, hidden truths, and unforgettable moments. Right now, I am accompanied with a really special guest, a know-it-all about olden times, olden celebrities, Mr. Dennis Mavromichalis. And he will tell us all about all the details we need to know about Playboy and all the amazing models of the time. So stay with us as we explore the unexpected and take a deeper look into the mysteries that shape our world. Right now, we're going to go ahead and watch a Gallup video of an interview with students.
No.
You don't know what is Playboy?
No. No.
Yes.
I know in general, but I haven't read it at all.
Yes.
Yes, I have heard in the past. Maybe women is not treated very good because it's underage.
What do you think?
I think we do not treat the same way as other people. We are treated like we are in low class.
I think in most of public societies, they are treated like not as loyal, not as with such a respect as a woman who is not there, because in most people's opinion, as I think, if a person allows to shoot him naked, this person doesn't respect himself. So I think most of people will respect these people less and will count them as easier to start communicating with.
If we're talking about a famous person, then no, I don't think so. I think the public views famous people in the way that famous people are shown to the public.
I feel if she's choosing to take part in such a thing, then she should be very much aware before doing it. So, if she chooses that, she has to be able to deal with the consequences of people commenting and stuff like that.
In this career, no.
So it's all together.
Yes.
I think, of course, as most of actors and most of singers, they're not even as popular for them to be interested in their personality. I mean, they're not invited on interviews and etc. As much as professional actors, singers. So I think it's easy for them to have a personal life, especially if their partners are okay with what they're doing. I think it's more empowering because, I don't know, like some men, I think the man is most of the readers
Yes.
of Playboy. I think for some men it's a chance to see something that they would not see in real life.
What does feminism mean to you, and how do you think it relates to magazines like Playboy?
Feminism, for me, is not about fighting to be equal to men. Feminism is about being yourself, but also within being yourself, I think it's very good to have boundaries. It's not because you're going to be yourself that you're just going to do whatever. It's good to protect yourself as well. Our society nowadays has just forgotten that boundaries is good. You know, in every action there is a consequence. So if you want to enjoy your freedom, just before you make any choice, just, you know, weigh up what would be the consequence to that, and then don't just say that, oh, people are being mean to you. You chose to put yourself out there. So
That was very interesting. I think it's about time we start asking the expert right here some questions. The first model we have here is Jane Mansfield. Can you tell us a bit more about her?
Oh, well, absolutely. First of all, hello, everyone. You know, before we go to Jane Mansfield, I think we need to touch a little bit Playboy. Playboy and Hugh Hefner, the person that established Playboy, these two names are going very close with each other. very close. We're going to exclude the name of Mr. Hefner from our conversation because otherwise he's going to be mentioned every second sentence.
Okay.
Actually, you know what's interesting? Because we're going to touch Jane Mansfield now, and Jane Mansfield was blonde, and she was a copycat of Marilyn Monroe.
Oh.
Why is it important? Because Marilyn Monroe was the first girl whose pictures were published by Playboy magazine in the first issue, and we actually do have the first issue. We're not going to open it because it's a Pandora box. In order to stay on air,
Right,
we're
right.
just going to show at least how it looked like. The first Playboy with Marilyn. Here she was on Miss America competition. She wasn't performing there. She was just attending it to get
Right.
some publicity and attention from the magazines and the newspapers, and Mr. Hefner just took this picture and put it on the first issue. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then Jane Mansfield comes in
Yeah.
at the same time almost with Marilyn, and she becomes the Playboy model in order to get publicity. The differences between Marilyn and Jane is that Marilyn had this blonde bombshell persona just because it was winning for her. But Jane Mansfield did it intentionally by the 20th Century Fox studio.
Okay.
They brought it as a competitor, successor to Marilyn, and people were, talking how Marilyn was reacting to this. Basically, Marilyn once said that, I understand that her copying me is a form of, reverence, but I'm really, really sorry that I cannot sue her for doing this because everything she's doing is too vulgar.
Oh.
Jane became Playmate of the Year. Playmate is a girl that was selected and printed in the most issues of Playboy through the year.
Yeah.
And then they choose her to be a Playmate of the Year.
Wow.
And Jane was Playmate for 2 years, I think, in 1962 and 1966.
Right. Okay.
So,
How do you think this, concept of a blonde bombshell changed her life, or do you think she wanted to break the mold?
oh no, absolutely not. Jane Mansfield knew what she was doing, and that was working absolutely. She came to the studio, 20th Century Fox, and producers didn't want to cast her because she had a brunette hair and she was looking pretty normal. But
Oh.
they told her, we're going to accept you if you change your appearance in a more appealing way. And
Right.
right there in the 50s, Marilyn star was going up, so Jane said, that works. Blonde, dye my hair, tight dresses, corsets, forms out, and that's gonna win. And that absolutely did win.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you think so? They were at the same time. They were modeling at the same time.
Absolutely at the same time.
So they were competitive towards each other.
They were really competitive towards each other. However, the differences between Marilyn and Jane is that Marilyn did not go to Playboy intentionally to get money. The pictures that were posted in that first issue were taken from her 1949 photo shoot when she was absolutely poor, she was broken, she was devastated, she didn't know what to do. Her acting contract was dropped down after first 2 failed pictures. But Jane Mansfield did it intentionally. She knew that Playboy would give her publicity, she knew that Playboy would give her attention, and literally in mid-60s, because in 1962 Marilyn Monroe died, and Jane Mansfield said, okay, that means I'm going to be the next one.
Right.
Really scary prediction because that's exactly what happened 5-6 years later.
Damn. Well, tell me about her death. I have no idea what happened. Tell me. Explain to me. No?
Go again?
Her death.
Yeah.
So, can you please tell me details about her tragic accident, how she died?
Oh, that was a terrible incident. She was driving in the car with her new third husband and a chauffeur and 3 children in the back seat. She was driving on the Buick Electra, the car, with a very long nose. And she was going from Los Angeles to New Orleans after one show to do another performance. And there was a car accident, just happened in the middle of the night. Her wig went off her head, and people, the newspapers, were saying that she was decapitated. While in fact, she wasn't decapitated, it was just a wig on the roof of the car. However, yeah, her head was really damaged to this.
Wow, okay. That is a tragic death.
It is a tragic death, and it's really scary
Very
to think about it.
Okay. Well, we'll go to a commercial break. We'll be right back right after. So stay with us for more coming up.
There's a moment in every day that's just yours. A time to pause and enjoy something extraordinary. This perfect cup, rich and full of flavor. It's more than coffee, it's the feeling of taking on your day, one sip at a time. Kawakom's coffee.
Hello everyone, we're back. Let's move on to our next model, Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh,
Yes.
you brought the name now.
Yeah. What do you have to say about her? And tell us a bit about her passing.
Oh, absolutely. But first of all, we need to agree on one thing. Anna
Yes.
Nicole Smith has so wide and so huge biography herself, even though her career was just 15 years, 10 to 15. Let's just cut to something really, really short.
Sure,
because
sure, okay.
Anna Nicole Smith, okay, first of all, Anna Nicole Smith, just like Jane Mansfield, she came up with this idea to be another Marilyn Monroe. This is actually, we see a really terrible pattern here. I want to warn everyone, if you're ever going to model or something, please do not try to copy someone. Not Marilyn, not anyone else. It's a bad idea. It's always ending bad. Anna Nicole Smith wanted to go to be an actress. She wanted to be a model. In this village that she was living in, like small town, Texas-like, if we can say without offending anyone.
Okay. Right, yeah.
We need to say that she wanted to go out of this small cage with limited responsibilities and possibilities. She wanted to have less responsibilities but more possibilities. The
Like many
place where
people.
she, absolutely, the place where she lived gave her everything upside down. She went to the Playboy to do the pictures as a model, and she couldn't feel comfortable. And to make this photo shoot spicier, to make it brighter, she said to the casting agent that was there, she said, "Can you please put on the music by Marilyn Monroe, Diamonds Are the Girl's Best Friends?" They did it, and she completely changed into a tiger. From a library girl to a tiger. There is one step, just one song, guys. And, you know, Anna Nicole, they always compare her to Marilyn to say that they resemble, but I believe that they resemble with Jane Mansfield more than Marilyn.
Yeah.
But Jane was, had slightly higher level of intelligence than Anna Nicole Smith. We need to
You
admit
think
that.
so?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Well, how did Anna Nicole Smith leave this world? Another more tragic occurrence?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, Anna Nicole Smith went through many plastic surgeries.
Okay.
She changed her breast implants 4 times.
Oh.
At some point, one of them exploded.
No.
Yes. And it was terrible physical pain that she struggled. And we need to mention that she was doing this when she was pregnant, when she gave birth. She always had substances, painkillers, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Later, she went into different kind of substances, harder substances, but honestly, she had lots of painkillers. She started getting weight.
Yeah.
She had pills for losing weight, and all of this combination really damaged her system.
I mean, makes sense.
Why her death is terrible, and why we need to say that Playboy and non-Playboy, doesn't really matter who to put blame on, but paparazzi in the early 2000s were completely off their minds. Anna Nicole Smith was walking by, fell on the floor, started suffocating.
Mm.
What did they do? Instead of calling 911, they came with the cameras and started taking pictures. You can find many pictures open on the web of Anna Nicole Smith with literally blue face, bluish white.
No way.
It's terrible. She almost suffocated on the floor. Actually, she did suffocate.
She did, yeah.
Millions of last pictures, the final picture of Anna Nicole Smith, but no one had their mind in a good position to call 911. This is terrible, I believe. The ignorance of people keeps shocking me every time.
Yeah, well, I bet they regretted that, not doing anything. That's
I
horrible.
I don't believe anyone has ever regretted this.
That's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Show business. What they say is just business, nothing
Yeah.
personal. Well, I believe at some point there should be something personal, you know.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how professionals could describe how these people must be feeling and how, you know, Playboy affected them. Like a psychologist, which we have as another guest here. And we're going to hear all about what she has to say. It's Dr. Lilia Psalta, the psychology teacher of Euclid Cyprus. And we're going to go hear what she has to tell us.
How does the intense pressure of fame and public scrutiny typically affect the mental health of celebrities?
Well, fame may seem glamorous, but the constant public scrutiny and pressure to maintain an idealized image can take a serious toll on mental health. So celebrities live under hypervisibility, where every action, appearance, word is dissected, leading to maybe chronic stress, anxiety disorders, or even depression. And according to Festinger's social comparison theory, people determine their self-worth by comparing themselves to others. And in the case of celebrities, the pressure to maintain perfection fuels that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, and a lot of times can lead to emotional exhaustion. So this is leading them to a vicious cycle of approval seeking and fear of failure, which often leads to all of these maladaptive coping mechanisms that can lead to social withdrawal or any other mental health difficulties, including substance abuse or avoidance behaviors and so on.
How does the objectification of women in media like Playboy impact the self-esteem and body image of the woman featured?
So when women are portrayed as objects of desires in the media, it doesn't just shape how they're viewed, it alters how they also see themselves. So self-objectification makes them hyper-aware of their bodies, leading them to constant self-surveillance, and that might lead to body dissatisfaction. which is leading to an increased risk of disordered eating behavior sometimes. So instead of being valued for other forms of behaviors, which that might be their intelligence or any other capacities, they start defining their worth based on physical appearance alone, which can contribute to low self-esteem, anxiety, and again, depression.
From psychological standpoint, what are the long-term effects of a celebrity's tragic death on their fans and the public at large?
So when a beloved celebrity dies, fans don't just feel sad, they experience a deep sense of personal loss despite never having met them. So this is known as parasocial grief, where individuals form one-sided emotional bond with public figure. And because this grief is not always recognized by the society, this is a term we call in psychology disenfranchised grief, where grieving about a celebrity or someone that we love dearly is dismissed or invalidated by the society, leading us to mourn alone or in isolation, and people do not recognize that part of grieving. And a lot of times we might see celebrities committing suicide. This might lead to collective trauma, where the public internalize that existential fear, especially if the death is so sudden. And this might lead again to profound psychological impact and shaping emotions and behaviors in fans, leading them again to develop their own mental health difficulties as well.
Thank you for your answers.
You're welcome.
That was an incredible interview. Very interesting. These psychological little details about celebrities' lives are always fascinating to me.
She's right at many points.
Yes. We have one last model written here for you to tell us about.
Okay.
It's Dorothy Stratton.
Yes.
Yes?
Dorothy Stratton.
Okay.
You know what we can say? Is there anything particular that you want to know about Dorothy? Because honestly, her career was short, but I think from all the girls, she's mostly intentionally connected to Marilyn Monroe in order to the tragic of her life that she had.
Well, I see in my notes that her death is kind of, I don't know if you can say similar, but similar to our previous model, I guess.
Oh, yes.
A problem with the marriage.
A problem with an
The
authoritarian guy that has control over everything and has mental
Right.
problems. That's true.
Before we get into that though, like, tell us about her legacy first. Like, was she an important part of Playboy as well?
Oh, yes. But we need to make sure that I would just slightly correct the statement legacy. I don't believe that these girls... Well, actually, no. You're right in terms that they did leave some legacy, but this is some sort of, spicy legacy. We can't really say that in a cultural way, because it's a very interesting cultural legacy that they left.
Yeah.
Uncovered bodies can be considered legacy if it was beautiful. But, in terms of artistic sense, I don't believe they left a huge legacy. But Dorothy Stratton, she was a very shy girl. What separates her from everyone else, and why I put her emotionally closer to Marilyn, is that Dorothy was a very shy girl. She didn't want to show off herself that much, as Jasmine Fior, let's say, or Star Stove, or Anna Nicole Smith. She wanted to do some artistic photography in this sense, and she was very, very, very organized in what she wanted. When she died in 1980, she was just 20 years old, the youngest among everyone. Basically, we have to mention that none of the models has lived until 40. None. For some reason, it's impossible. Being exposed in the magazines, show yourself and live until 80 years old, rare people can do it. It's a rare case. But Dorothy did a photo shoot.
Yes.
She got a contract. She got her paycheck. She started getting famous. She was invited to Hugh Hefner's mansion for the parties. Basically, all of the girls were invited there. All the girls that were mentioned previously, they all were invited there. We're not going to go into details because God knows what was happening in that mansion. But honestly speaking, Dorothy didn't really like it. She wanted to do something artistic. That's what separates her from everyone else.
Yeah, she seems different from what I
She
hear.
seems different, and she was different.
Okay.
She was a typical 70s girl. And again, she met the wrong man in her life.
Yes.
This guy was mentally unstable. He tried to do many different things. He was a pimp at some point. He was a substance dealer. Many things. But he was always robbed, always tricked by the girls that he was trying to sell to other gentlemen, not being mentioned on the air of a good show. But honestly. And then he meets Dorothy. Dorothy really felt empathy to him. And she really drugged him into this business. He smelled money, just like a shock. He smelled money, he smelled success, and he started to get everything out of Dorothy, everything. And Hugh Hefner called Miss Stratton into the office at some point at the mansion, and he said, you know what, this guy looks like a pimp. You should not trust him. But you know how they say love is a very hard thing, is a very legal, personal way of saying goodbye to your brain.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, you just switch off the brain and you only follow your heart. That's what true love is. And unfortunately, when she met casting director, Paul, he offered her a film, but he said, you will become an actress because I see that you have it in yourself. You are really bright, you're really dynamic, you know how to react in front of the camera. You're not afraid, you don't have a stage fright. But he said one thing, this guy is not coming on set to see your film. He's being at home at his peace, drinking tea, but not being with you because you are really stressed and really scared when you see him around. Do you think he liked it?
This comment? Probably not.
Absolutely not. Of course, obviously not.
Yeah.
He started going through scandals. Dorothy was under pressure. She didn't like it, so she started having dates on the side.
Oh, that's not very.
You know, yeah. And he hired a detective.
Okay.
And at some point, she knew it, that she was going to do it. So she came towards him and she said, I want a divorce.
Okay.
He didn't like it. And then lately it's just, you know, just like cuts from a terrible film, like
Yeah.
their friends started thinking that they have disappeared both. You see that everything happens with disappearance.
Yeah.
It's literally
actually.
like when the person is disappearing, guys, it's a very terrible thing. You need to search for them.
Check on your friends.
Check on your friends and the people that you know, even if you don't really like them. It might save their lives.
Yeah, actually.
They disappeared for like 10 or 12 or 15 hours because they had both meetings set and nobody appeared on these meetings.
Right.
So their friends went into the house, they found the door open, and they decided that, the couple is reunited together. Hell no. They went inside, they opened the door, and they found Dorothy on the bed, face down, completely bare, with no clothes on, and they found her husband on the floor.
Also dead.
He shot himself in the face.
Oh.
After he shot her,
Right.
he did terrible things with her body that we're not going to mention, and then he shot himself on the face.
That's crazy.
He didn't want her to live her own life the way she wanted, but when she came and she said, "Give me the divorce," she said, "Okay, I'm even ready to give you 70% of my money that I earned from Playboy shoots." He didn't like that.
Let's just say he was a psycho, I think.
Since we're not psychologists, we cannot throw
Yeah,
that
we-
claims,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we
yeah.
definitely can say that his mental statement raises huge questions.
Yes. So another tragic death.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Do you think all these deaths shaped Playboy in a way? Do you think did people know about these deaths at the time? Was it prominent?
I believe that in the times of when Jane Mansfield died, 67, and then it was 70s, 18, 19, I believe that people didn't really pay that much of attention. They didn't care that much. Of course, the resemblance of these tragical deaths with Playboy went together when Jasmine Fior died in 2009. That was the time when people started looking at the Playboy image, and they started making questions: is that okay? Is that safe for a woman to be printed everywhere, on the posters? Difficult question.
So it kind of shaped celebrities' lives a little bit. Do you think it affected celebrities?
It did affect celebrities at some point. But you know what? We cannot say that 100% sure how it infected celebrities, except the time that they all died, and died terribly, and maybe if they didn't go to Playboy and they did something else, maybe try to attend acting courses, or if they tried to improve their image without plastic surgeries and exposing their bodies, maybe their life would have been different.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, just to not end on a really negative note, what do you think was admirable about them, about all of these women? Do you think they had something that people could admire? Or do you think...
That's a tricky question, ma'am. Very tricky question.
It is,
if I'm
considering what they do.
If I'm going to say that their blonde bombshell persona and their bodies were the most admirable thing, would you believe me? If I say that was the only thing they were admired for, are you going to believe me?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
You see, I didn't want to say it that way because I do not want to disrespect, especially now, in these days when we tend to get more respect and acceptance towards each other, and I'm really glad for this. It wasn't back then, and Playboy was not for respect and such things. You know what Hugh Hefner said? He said actually that Playboy cannot be claimed for disrespecting and objectivizing women because they possessing themselves as giving sexual freedom to women. She can decide what to do.
Okay.
I guess that's how we can end it up.
Yeah. Well, all of those stories were extremely interesting to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming here and talking with me, telling me all about your knowledge.
Thank you very much for calling me. Unfortunately, the stories were tragic, they were scary, and not exactly bright. I hope next time we will talk about something more positive.
Yes, something brighter. Well, that's all for now, ladies and gents. A huge thanks to our guest again. And thanks to you, the people watching, for joining us. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.